And as we've mentioned, the federal judge in Hawaii put the president's travel ban on hold. More than half a dozen states are trying to stop it right now. And CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reid is in Washington. Paula, good to see you as well.
Good to see you, too. A lot of breaking news tonight.
A lot of breaking news. Paula, how does this judge's orders in Hawaii affect the ban across the country?
Well, this applies across the country and across the globe. This is a big blow to the president's second travel ban. And DeMarco, it's somewhat surprising because this second ban, it was designed in response to previous judges' concerns about the first travel ban. For example, it was more narrow. They were very specific. It's only 6 countries this time. They carved out a lot of exceptions for people who had previously been granted visas. They even said they do case-by-case waivers for anybody who was getting a visa because they helped national security. This was a much more nuanced executive order. It was also implemented in a much different fashion. It wasn't so much that it was signed and then implemented. They gave it a little bit of lag time. This was a totally new approach. So I'm sure it is a big disappointment to the administration that it has been temporarily blocked.
And Paula, Hawaii isn't alone. Judges in Maryland and Washington state also heard arguments Wednesday on whether or not to freeze the ban. What are they trying to establish in these hearings going forward?
They all have an argument that is approximately saying that the president's travel ban is essentially religious discrimination. They argue that if you take this ban in the context with the president's campaign promises of a Muslim ban, that this discriminates based on religion. But the Department of Justice argues that that is not the case, that this is narrowly focused, that it is temporary while they review their vetting procedures. And they also argue that millions of Muslims will still be able to come into the country, some of them from these nations, if they were already granted a valid visa.
And you pointed this out earlier. This is now the second time President Trump's travel ban has been put on hold. What does this mean for his administration getting the ban ever pushed forward?
They still have a chance. This is just the initial judge at the lowest level of the federal court system in one state. The different judges could come to different opinions. That could help eventually potentially get to the Supreme Court. And if President Trump is able to get his nominee on the court by that time, this travel ban could still have a fighting chance. This version, though, DeMarco, I will say, travel ban 2.0, as people have been calling it, this has a much greater chance of success than the previous travel ban. This is much more nuanced, and I think they have a stronger case to make that this is crafted within the president's national security powers and is not a Muslim ban.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you. How is this ban really different from the first ban his administration put out, and are the judges' rulings likely to differ this time around?
I wouldn't be surprised if we do get some different rulings because this is a much different, more nuanced, narrowly crafted travel ban. Now, intelligent minds can certainly disagree whether or not it violates the Constitution, but the fact is, DeMarco, they looked at exactly what the judges said about the first travel ban, and they applied it almost line for line when crafting this new ban. Now, the president also had the help of the fact that he had a Secretary of State, a Department of Homeland Security chief, and an Attorney General in place the second time around to help him craft this. And it is much different. There are exceptions. They're not just blocking people on a whim immediately. They were giving it time to be implemented. There was a lot of steps that were taken that were not taken in the first one. It is a very different ban, but this judge, he says that this is still religious discrimination.
All right, that story is still developing at this hour. Again,